There are a couple things I'd like to point out about the HTML editor or creator. We're all familiar with how to access it in our current version by clicking on the pencil. And then, of course, we can expand it with our toggle full screen, and we can begin to edit using the menu up above. In version 10.0, you would think, I've been telling you, always click on an action menu, but if you look here, you'll see the edit properties, and you'll probably want to click on it. And if you do, it's an important click. Here is where you can change it from published to draft. Also, here is where you add restrictions, where you would do your start date and end date if it was an item that you didn't want to have visible in the content area at all times. And also remember that if we take and edit the information for this quiz under Edit Properties, we'll see that it has an end date right now of December 30th. If I click on that, I can change that date to 1/30 and update this. And not only has the date changed to January 30th here, also up in quizzes, the date is changed here as well. So that, again, to repeat what we talked about in this very first part of this video, is that you are affecting it there as well, saving a lot of time. But when we clicked on the instructor information and applied a date, since it is just a file, all it's doing is placing a restriction on the access to it through the content area. So maybe I want to go in and edit the instructor information. I showed you that this will not get us there. You need to click on the title. So here we are in preview mode, and in order to be able to edit, we click on the action menu and select Edit, which brings us to the new HTML editor. And the new is in the way not only it looks, but there's a couple of things I want to point out where to find specific tools. One of the new areas is over here where we have the familiar paste from Word and paste. The new one is paste as plain text. What would you use that for? Well, if you have a page that you think may have a lot of formatting in the background from, say, an unknown source, you could copy it and use paste from text to put the content in and then format it using the HTML editor. This way you'll have reliable, clean code being built. There are also a couple new action items that I'd like to show you here. There's a consolidation of some of the tools behind action items. Notice that the menu bar is in one row, and the way that they've achieved this is by inserting sections and having an action menu for more items, maybe less often used. So do be aware that there are 4 additional action menus, and when you click on them, you get your other options. So if you don't find it right away, as we've been talking about throughout this session, the action items will reveal the world to you. And there is also a new icon for insert a link, which is insert a quick link. And when you click on it, URL would be the first, because that would be what you're most often possibly going to be putting in an HTML file. But here, easily accessible is you can link to any of the content within your class by having a link created within this area. One other item I'd like to point out was in the previous version, and I'm not so sure how many people were using it. Insert stuff. So here are the options that you would have here if you wanted to embed some code, maybe some video code. You would use this action here. So don't hesitate to click on Insert Stuff. And towards the bottom in the right, you'll see these less than and greater than. If you hover over it, it's the HTML source code. When you click on it, you will then be able to edit the code, which is different from what we had in our current version, which was over here in the left-hand corner, edit the HTML source. And in our current version, we click Save when we're done. In this version, we'll hit Update. That pretty well covers the changes for editing in courses, but what I'd like to do is show you when you create a new file. So here we are in a module, Course Information. I'm going to click on New, and I want to create a new document. It presents me with a completely empty page, as our previous version did, but look here, copy from an existing file. So say you have worked on formatting your introduction every week, and you get one of them done for week 1, and now here I am in module for week 2. What I can do is click on this, navigate in the file manager to the file for week 1, and it will make a duplicate copy for me within the editor, and all I have to do is make the changes for that week. This is new and really, really pretty sweet.